Howdy and welcome to the cave. It's great to have you back. I'm Mark, and you're watching Blue Street Customs. Howdy guys, I'm back again. Today, something a little different, not quite a diorama. But what I'm going to show you is how to take an ordinary dollar store flashlight, okay, and we're going to turn it into a UV light. We got a white light and a UV light. As you can see, that's just your regular light. That's your UV light. So that's what we're going to make. Now to do that, went to the dollar store, picked up another flashlight. Now, like I said, from the dollar store. It's here in the dollar store. I think it was $2.50. $2.50. Comes with batteries. So first thing we're going to do, make sure it works. And it does. Check that out. Works good. Okay guys, so to disassemble this, you don't have to do this part, but I like to do it to make sure there's no power in the whole system. So I'll just set that aside. Then we're going to unscrew this piece. And then you're going to set that aside. Maybe a little collar here that comes out. Like so. And then on the inside, there'll be a little ring. Little steel ring. You'll mess it up a little bit, but that's okay. A little pair of pliers, you can straighten it back out. But it is deep down inside. It'll be deep down in here. And it holds your LED board in. So find something like a little hook, pair of pliers, something, a little tiny screwdriver. Pry that out. And then this will come out like so. Don't lose your lens. You can set that aside. Then you'll have your LED board, spring, LEDs, and you'll have this chrome deflector. You can just slide that off. So all you're left with is a board with a bunch of LEDs. So what you're going to be doing is desoldering all of these, pulling them out. Now, the way this works, this outer ring of LED legs, okay, touches this metal ring, which touches the housing. The housing touches this, which touches the end of this piece, which is your back. And this will touch the negative side of your battery pack. I know it's a long way. You don't really need to know that, or can if you want. So that's how that works. I'm telling you this because when you take these out, these inner legs are going to be your positive. These outer legs, okay, these outer legs will be your negative. These inner ones will be your positive. Now you have 4 in the center. So you follow your negative ring. And you can see, if you follow your negative ring, it comes down to the center. These ones here will be your negative. This is your positive. So if you follow your positive down, this will be your positive. So that means these very inner ones these very inner ones, right next to the spring, are going to be your positive legs of those LEDs. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to set up to desolder. Once I'm ready to desolder, I'll be right back. Okay guys, all set up here. Got rid of the nice new mat. Back to old ways here. Now if you've been watching my videos, you know that my last mail time, I got in a set of these soldering tips because I needed a new one. So I went and changed it. Nice and new. Now they do come pre-tinned, but you should always tin them yourself as well. And I'll show you that here in a second. So I'm going to plug this in, let it get hot, explain what else you need to do this project. So of course, you got your LEDs. Then you're going to have some soldering paste or soldering flux. And you're going to need some solder, of course. Now I believe this is 60-40, no lead, and it's also what they call flux core. It has basically some of this inside the center. So you're going to need that stuff. Now, I've set my temperature right around 400. Let's see if we're getting hot enough yet. Yep, nice and warm. Works good. So you let it heat up, give it a bit of a cleaning. Now this one here should have ventilation, not dopey like me. But anyways, this tip is a slight flat wedge. But anyways, to tin your solder, or your soldering iron, get it hot. Get yourself a little bit of steel wool, clean it off, dip it. Now what you're trying to look for is basically for it to be nice and shiny. So we've got it nice and shiny there. What you're going to do, the first couple are probably going to be difficult. You can also get yourself what they call a solder sucker. Sounds stupid, doesn't it? This one here, this style is just a little bulb with a high temp plastic tip on it. So what you're going to do is you're going to heat it up, collapse. Once it's done heating, suck the solder away. Now there's also a pen style. This thing's just smoking away here. See, I needed that new tip. It wasn't getting near as hot as it should be. So anyways, so what we're going to do, try and zoom in here for you a bit. It looks to be about as good as my camera zooms in. So anyways, we're going to heat them up. And once you take the solder off, they should almost fall out. Now, sometimes you might have to help them just a little bit. And out it comes. Okay. So again, sometimes if you just kind of push on one side or something, heat it up, just falls right out. So you're going to go all the way around like that. Like I said, once you get one out, the rest come out pretty easily. I'm just using one finger, putting a little bit of pressure on it. This is where it takes a little bit of patience. Doesn't take very much heat at all. Now trust me, sometimes they can be stubborn. And of course, try not to burn yourself. I've done it many times, and if you do enough of this stuff, you will. It's starting to get a little warm. So what you can do, you don't have to, but it'll probably make it easier, is as you heat them up, after you've got them out, you heat up a certain spot, and blow on it, it should blow the solder through the hole. And that'll clear the way for your new LEDs. Try to take as much solder off of the tip as you can. That'll help. Now you can also get what they call solder wick, and it's like a copper braided wire that will suck up the solder. Okay, so got most of those clear. Now we're going to take these 4 out. Okay, now that we've got all these out, don't throw them away. They're good. A little short-legged, but hey, sure we can still use them somewhere. Also keep your spring. So now, I'm going to turn this down just a little bit, maybe about 375. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to take our UV lights. Let's see if that'll focus in on that. That's the SKU number. There we go. Now, when you look these up, they will say purple, but they are UV lights. If you type in UV lights, I'll put a link in the description for everything here. This stuff here, you can get pretty much any type of hardware store. These came from Banggood. I'll put a link in the description for that. This came from Banggood. The soldering iron came from Banggood. The light came from the dollar store. So of course, now you want to take your LEDs, right? Now for an LED, doesn't matter what kind of LED, 98% of them, okay, this one's going to be hard to see. Okay, so as you can see, one leg is longer than the other. The longer one is your anode, your shorter one is cathode. Now, if they happen to be cut the same, your cathode side should have a flat spot right around the edge, right on the edge of the LED. So right here should be flat. You can kind of see that in the shine there. That'll be on your short side. That's your negative. So remember, we said this outer edge is your negative. This inner edge is your positive. So what we're going to do, we're going to start feeding them in, short leg out. And of course, there might be some solder in some of these holes. So something you can do just to kind of help you keep them in for now. Just spread the legs out a little bit and work your way around. So you're just going to work all the way around. Now, if you want, you can solder one at a time. I find it easier this way. So I'll get all these put in and I'll be right back. All right. Now that I've got all of the outside edge done, I'm going to sit it down. What you're going to do, in your tip, adjust your temperature for your type of solder. And what I like to do is do the outside edge. So you're going to put a little solder on the tip so that you have just a ball of solder on there. You can see that. And then you're going to make sure that your LED is tight to the board. And then you're going to touch your outside wire. Let it cool. And that's it. So you're going to do that all the way around. Okay. So now that you got that far, you're going to take yourself a really small pair of pliers or cutters. You're going to cut that outside edge off. Now these legs will fly. So make sure you wear an eye protection, or we got one that's being stubborn. Now, once you got all those outside ones cut off, you're going to solder the inside ones. So I'll do that, and I'll be right back. Okay, guys. Due to my screw up, things weren't recording when they were supposed to be, and they were recording when they weren't. So I lost a bunch of footage. So, to try and back up, I left off, I was going to finish soldering all the LEDs on. So, as you can see, I've done that. Now, on top of that, I took the soldering iron, and on each leg, I made sure they were rounded off, nice and clean. I also make sure that none of them were bridged between each leg, basically making sure that on the LED, this is a transistor, that on the LED on the board that there wasn't solder touching this one and this one together. If there is, use your soldering iron and just kind of break the bridge. Make sure it's all nice and clean. So once I got that done, made sure everything was nice and clean. I wiped it all down with some isopropyl alcohol, clean it up, clean off any of the residue from the soldering paste. Then that little steel ring, I put everything back in. I took that little steel ring inside, pressed it down, and that holds everything inside. So my lens, my reflector, the LED board, I soldered the spring back on before I did all that, straightened out that steel ring, and then pressed it back in. Now that ring touches the ground strip or the ground pins on the LEDs, touches the body like I said all before. So now from this point, what you're going to do is put everything all back together. If you have some sort of type of power supply, use 3 volts if you want. Positive wire here, negative wire on one of the outside LED pins, which is your ground. Test it before you put it all together. So this plastic ring has holes on one side, not on the other. That gets put in here on the top where your switch is. Just kind of a spacer keeper. Of course, put this back together. Now it's going to be a tight fit. There is a rubber ring on this one to help seal the water and dust out. Okay. Battery pack. One side's flat, the other side has a bump on it. Bump is the positive, that's your negative. Negative goes out. So you put your cap back on, and there you have it. Nice UV light. So, I'm going to test this for you. And again, if you watched my mail time, the UV resin that I got from Amazon. Nothing on the wood. It's all it takes. I'm going to put a little drop here, like so. Okay. You can see that that is wet. And that is in real time. It is a little warm, but that's hard. So it does work. So if you like this project, you'd like to see more, make sure you hit the like button. Leave a comment down below if there's anything else you'd like to see me try and build. Make sure to share the video, hit subscribe, hit that bell icon so you can see when I post other videos. Check me out on Instagram at Blue Streak Customs. You can also click on the button for Facebook and check out things there too. I'll leave a link in the description so you guys can check out Tabletop Dungeoneers Discord service. There's a bunch of great guys there. We do all kinds of stuff. Anything from RC cars and Gundams to minis for D&D and wargaming. All kinds of dioramas, 3D printing. Great bunch of people. We all have fun. Just sit around, bullshit, chat, throw ideas at each other. So come and check us out there as well. So until next time, later.